that record talking that stuff. I'm here for it. I like it. Carisha, you look good. You look rejuvenated. I really enjoyed your interview with Charlamagne. Shout out to the City Girls, man. I love the City Girls, whether they together or apart. I like seeing both of these young ladies who made such an impact on hip hop really, reclaim their spots and doing what they want to do as, solo artists anyway. I almost went back to Music Bites on y'all. Anyway, LYNX Live. I'm your host, Dame. LYNX, remember, love yourself, no exceptions. And we about to get into some Reali-TEA. Hope you got something to drink. Y'all know I'm drinking some tequila reposado. I put a little lemonade in it real quick because it's just a casual episode. So I'm just ready to kind of just have a cocktail and let's just get into some TV stuff. What y'all watching? I'm sure by now y'all have seen the America's Next Top Model documentary. I've only seen the one on Netflix, but that was enough for me. And Tyra is getting crucified. There was a lot that came out in that documentary that, looking at it from a 2026 scope compared to a 2008 scope, is totally different. I respect Top Model for what it was at the time. And there are a lot of things, a few things that I saw. Well, the main thing that I saw that I disagreed with was the situation with Shandy. I think that's her name. The girl that was overseas and ended up cheating on her boyfriend, and that turned into a whole thing. That part and some other things I really wasn't fooling with. But I think a lot of the critiques on Top Model are kind of from dated outlooks. Because at the time, Top Model was considered innovative, for what it was. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think about the documentary. But I did watch it. But anyway. All right. So one thing I've been super excited about is the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17. The trailer dropped, and we've got a whole new cast, and the new season premiered this past weekend. And first episode was pretty cool. It felt like just a whole new setup to me, just a whole new show, a whole new group of girls. It did not feel like vintage Housewives, and I think that that's what we need to break away from with Atlanta. Because unlike a lot of people, I enjoyed the latter seasons of Atlanta. I also enjoyed last season. I think last season got shitted on a lot because of the whole Kenya Moore situation and the way the season felt disjointed. But this season, I feel like it's off to a good start. They didn't give us too much in the first episode. My girl K. Michelle looked amazing. I like how they are making a clear distinction between her and her time on Love and Hip Hop, highlighting her music career and that she's wanting to do country music now, and she's now married. And I've told y'all over and over again, K. Michelle is one of my favorite people to see live. So I missed her. She was at the Bethesda Theater like the end of last year doing some of her country music, and I missed it. So I gotta, I had to keep up with my tour schedule. It's getting hot, but Pinky Cole has joined the group as well. Pinky Cole is the founder of Slutty Vegan. Right now, she's going through a lot of financial turmoil, dealing with her business, filing for bankruptcy, things like that. The business grew way too fast. So I think it's important to share that story as well. As up-and-coming new age entrepreneurs, first-gen entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, we need to see how to work through this. She's no different than anybody else when it comes to running a business. Y'all president has filed bankruptcy several times. Anyway, Shamia and Portia aren't speaking. Cool. I don't really with Shamia anyway. Portia looked amazing. Angela, Oakley, and Charles. I love me some Angela Oakley. So, I don't know. Really solid first episode. We are definitely tuned in for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So watch it with me. But speaking of Atlanta, we just gonna get into what is the tea in Atlanta? It's a lot of excitement. Atlanta is really making headlines in so many ways. You had the T.I.'s resurgence with the T.I. beef. The whole thing with Young Thug last year, getting out of jail, his jail calls being leaked. Just lots of tea. So we gonna get into the tea in Atlanta. We're gonna talk about some of these situations that's going on. Let me just read some current headlines. So Fresh off of our Real Housewives of Atlanta discussion, Kenya Moore owes about $89K to her landlord for her hair spa. You know, Kenya Moore Hair Spa was the spa that she had the grand opening for, where she revealed those crazy pictures about her castmate. And since then, there's been rumors of the salon struggling and Kenya owing money. I know that she was having a landlord dispute, but apparently there's some recent judgment where she's been maybe possibly ordered to pay $89K to her landlord, or maybe that's just the balance and the case is unresolved. But I don't know. What y'all think about this Kenya situation? Kandi and Todd have finalized their divorce. Is seemingly amicable. Now, Kandi and Todd announced their divorce towards the end of last year. It's been about 6 months, I think, and they have come to a decision as far as a settlement with who gets what, separating assets, child custody, things like that. A lot of people had a lot to say about Kandi and Todd, and thinking that Todd would potentially be trying to take her for everything and try to dispute the prenup. Lots of gossip around the Kandi and Todd situation. One thing I know about Kandi is she gonna handle her business. So I wasn't even concerned. A lot of this tea, we just gotta let it play out and see what happens. So I'm glad that Kandi and Todd can move past this. I feel like they'll be great co-parents. I think that whatever issues they've had as far as from a family perspective, because they're still traveling together and things like that. So, but as far as the differences they have from a family perspective, I don't think that it'll impact that at all. So, And then our girl Portia, she's a lesbian now. Look, they had Portia in her stud, in her sexy stud, and I love me a sexy stud, okay? I will never hate on a sexy stud. But I'm sick of Portia and her girlfriend throwing they love all in our face. Okay, we get it, Portia. Portia, one thing, Portia ain't fucking with no broke. Okay? Nobody broke. She ain't fucking with nobody broke. So, but the couples content and all that stuff, just to me, I just hate couples content. Until I start doing my own. But anyway. Moving on. Y'all let Portia get away with murder, so I don't even give Portia too much. Speaking of baddies, our girl Latto is pregnant. Now, I'm actually really excited about Latto being pregnant. You know, the rumor around town that her and 21 Savage has been together for years. But we haven't gotten confirmation from either one of them whether or not it's true. Now, Latto recently released a new video, Business and Personal, where she's very much pregnant in the video, about to pop, looking great. And I'm excited about the announcement. Latto's one of my favorite girls. Latto's like my top in female rap, you know. So I'm excited to see that she's pregnant. There's a little symbolism in the video. There's a little baby book that she's looking through, and there's a baby picture of 21 Savage like stuck in there. So I don't know. They've also got matching tattoos. Anyway, I'm happy for Latto and her man. You know she love her man. Me too, girl. Mine, not hers. All right, now our boy Gucci. Now apparently, I'm sure y'all heard about this. Gucci got robbed by Pooh Shiesty. Now y'all know street is not my forte, so I'm gonna leave that right where it is. But Pooh Shiesty is Gucci Mane's artist or former artist. They had some form of a meeting to discuss him getting out of his contract. Pooh Shiesty just not even got released from jail or prison, was locked up. He got released not too long ago. So when they met up to discuss contract situations, apparently, allegedly, the situation escalated and resulted in Gucci Mane getting robbed. I don't know what's true. I don't know anything about it. I don't do the street stuff. But we're gonna watch it play out. Okay. Now, I know y'all done seen all this tea going on with Dwight Howard, Amy Luciani, and Royce Reed. I know y'all have seen it. Now, Dwight Howard, famous basketball player, he was originally dating Royce Reed a long time ago. Royce Reed is from Basketball Wives. And I remember when Royce was on Basketball Wives, she could not mention Dwight's name at all. Anyway, Dwight has recently married Amy Luciani. She was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She's an up-and-coming rapper, even though I haven't seen her rap since she became a wife. Now, Amy went on live stream and started airing out all their business, Dwight's drug use, their parenting issues, things with the kids, all kind of stuff. It was nasty. Then Royce jumped in because this whole time Royce has been trying to tell y'all about Dwight, and y'all don't want to listen. So a lot of tea going on there. Too much for me to even really keep up with. But anyway, it's a lot. Somebody pulled out a bag of some white substance. Somebody pulled it out saying that somebody else was using it in their home. All right, moving along. Now, you know, Amy Luciani was on Love and Hip Hop, so let's move over to some Love and Hip Hop talk. Now, Sierra, my Gemini sister, she's a mess too. Sierra from Love and Hip Hop filed for divorce from her husband, Zay. They were recently married. I don't even think they've been married 3 years, 2 years. I can't work. Sierra's a hot mess. I just want to say I'm really enjoying the most recent seasons of Love and Hip Hop since they switched over to MTV. It's actually very entertaining. A big mix of what's going on with the old cast. They got some new cast members. We're seeing Yandy and Mendice's situation or whatever they got going on. We're seeing that play out. Our girl Spice is on there running stuff. Carly Red is still there. Bambi's still there. Scrappy's still there. He's a mess. Scrappy is a whole mess. So shout out to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And then another show I want to give some kudos to down in Atlanta, Married to Medicine. I'm going to give them kudos for this season. You know, I always dip in and out of Married to Medicine, and it's not that I don't like them. You know what I'm saying? They've had some seasons I really enjoyed. You know, it's especially the older seasons, mainly because the drama I don't feel is staged on Married to Medicine. And at one point, this was a group of couples that really supported each other, really loved each other. And you could tell they were real friends, especially like back in the day when Simone and Cecil was going through their stuff. The way they rallied together to keep them together. But the last few seasons have been, I've barely made it through them. But this season, towards the end, I was locked in, especially with the whole Met Gala drama. Now, the Met Gala is this charity event that the girls sponsor. And Toya was in charge of it this season. And I really didn't like how they handled Toya when it came to this charity. Now, mind you, Jackie appointed Toya to be in charge and didn't tell the rest of the group. So the whole issue to me is on Jackie's part, because she should have let them know what was going on. There should have been a Zoom call or something. But anyway, I really enjoyed the second half of the season. The reunion was pretty good. You know, Toya had a lot of things going on with her and Eugene. She talked to Eugene like he was crazy. We saw Quad and King try to force this baby situation, and they've allegedly broken up. Or I think she confirmed that on the reunion. They're broken up at this point. But you know, then we got the new guy trying to also beef with Toya's husband. You know, the second half of the season and the reunion was pretty good. So shout out to Married to Medicine. All right. Anyway, that's enough Atlanta tea. That was a lot. All right, look, let's get into some more music and we'll be right back because you know we got to keep it PC.
I miss you. I'm talking